Welcome to the NFT Podcast, Brady, and welcome to the Metaverse. We are inside the Metaverse today, seems like.
For real.
And so let's start talking about this. What's the Metaverse for you? Where are we now? Why NFTs are linked to the Metaverse?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. What is the metaverse to me? Well, the metaverse to me is many things. Um, it's an escape from the current reality. It's almost as if the human consciousness is building out its own new dimension to escape from the current universe and reality we live in. And not to say that it's a bad thing, but we're building our own. Because sometimes this one doesn't work for all of us, I guess. Um, let me start over here.
Of course.
Yeah, let me start over here, and because this is such a big question, because it's so many things. It's right now it's a virtual, it's crypto voxels, it's all of us communicating on the internet. It's the internet, but with maybe more of a sense of being within the internet as we create our own avatars, define ourselves using digital items and collecting them, and the same way we do in real life. But we're bringing it to a way that is not governed by land or physics or any yeah any of the reality that we have today of dictators of life or death, of sickness. We're not governed by those things in the metaverse. It's freedom is what it is. It's freedom of thought. It's freedom of creativity. um,
Yeah,
I think that's a
definitely.
better way.
Yeah, that's so
The
powerful.
second take was much better.
We are going to keep both because like the metaverse is everything and it's freedom. But yeah, man, absolutely. Like, you're saying that it's a way of escaping reality, but it's also a way of enhancing reality. And I'm going to make you
Yeah.
another sick question. If you could choose to live forever in the virtual world or in the real world, which one would you pick?
If I had to choose right now, I would definitely choose. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If I had to choose right now, I would definitely choose the real world. I wouldn't choose to live in the metaverse right now. It's not ready.
Yeah,
It's so new. If it was way more developed, I would totally be down. But
yeah.
it's not where it's not where you want it. Everything would be glitching, breaking. Nobody would be there. It'd be a very lonely place right now. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
being built. So I think if you had asked me, maybe in 1,000 years, maybe not even that much, maybe 100 years from now, I would probably choose the metaverse.
Oh,
Probably because by that time we would have like photorealism in terms of graphics and rendering. We would have haptic suits where we could feel the world, the digital world. So yeah, I think that
yeah.
would. It
Up.
depends on the timing.
Yeah, it depends, of course, on the timing. Yeah, maybe I think that you say 100 years, but I think that in 10 years we are going to have more portability of our like wallet in the metaverse, of our like digital avatar. I'm pretty sure that because I war technologies is something that is evolving, and I never bought a war in my life, but I'm going to buy it probably in the next year, and I'm sure
You
that
should.
like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm bored of this 2D. I want the 3D, and I
It's a
so
wild experience.
yeah, yeah. I tried sometimes, but I never had mine because like I didn't know still anything about NFTs, and I was just thinking, oh, what can I do with a wire? Just working with Excel. What's not such so funny? But now I can understand it. It's way more funner. So like, what do you think that we need like in 10 years to improve to arrive to the metaverse? So, for example, my assumptions can be we need more companies, more projects on the metaverse
Sure.
that can join,
All of
because
it.
we need this network effect, right? We need this world. We
Right.
need, it's like a city. You can have like a city. You cannot have like a city with just one building and few people. You need it to be expanded.
Um, I mean, yeah. Again, this is another question, a very broad question in which I feel like, there's we will always need everything in 10 years. I mean, there was going to be we're like building the first foundation layer. Like I feel like in 2013, maybe they were like mixing the cement to put down for the base layer. And then in 27, they were just like figuring, is this going to work? And then now here in 2020, we've really laid down the foundation to build upon it. And now we're seeing so many different projects, especially on the Ethereum blockchain, being built and people using Ethereum and trading Ethereum and buying things with Ethereum. I mean, that's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge. But I haven't really seen that until honestly the past like 9 months or the past year.
yeah,
So we are right at the beginning, and I mean, I think in 10 years, in the next 10 years, we're going to see everything, every kind of project pop up, every from real estate to probably decentralized real estate to, more DeFi to DAOs with whole entire avatars, and just it's going to be an insane experience, I believe.
absolutely, man.
But yeah, I mean, there's going to be lots. I mean, again, it's a pretty broad question, and there's a lot of things that are going to be needed. And I think it's going to be an endless possibilities for all of them for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I've always thought that like one day maybe some people can lose their self in the metaverse, because normal reality is so boring, and probably some of them will do it, but just
oh, absolutely. There would be no doubt. There's going to be those kids. I mean, there's kids that would have like bladder problems from playing World of Warcraft for too long. I mean, if that's already happening, then, we're definitely going to see cats just visors on, whatever it is, stuck in the metaverse permanently.
yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's the
The,
way they want to live. Let's go.
yeah, let's absolutely. It's so inspirational for so many artists,
Yeah,
and
and
yeah, yeah. And I
I
wanted to
I
jump
was going to
like,
ask you,
yeah, yeah.
have
Please,
you
please, go, go.
when you were in VR and trying VR, did you ever get a chance to sculpt in
Yeah.
VR? You did.
No, no, I didn't have no chance, but like I know that it's possible also at a guest here, and it's amazing what you can shape in a few minutes, like totally different from
Yeah,
real
yeah.
life. But when sculpting for me, it's like an impossible art, because you've got just one chance, one piece, and you cannot like make mistakes. Have you tried sculpting war?
Yeah, yeah, I do Adobe Medium right now is the one I use in VR to create abstract objects, in which you'll see very soon. I'm doing it for a very special company
Wow.
that you know. So
That
I'm
I
very
know,
excited
you
to
say.
show
Oh
them.
wow, can't wait to
Yep,
see them.
you definitely know
So
them.
yeah, let me tell me more about your artist life, artist career, because I know that you are part of a band. So please tell me more about the band, but also about your art. I didn't know that you were also a digital sculptor. So please tell me more.
Yeah, yeah. So at the base, I guess forever I've been a musician. I even have been a 3D designer for a long time, but I took a very, very long break around like 15 years. I took a break from it. I started off like um, modding and building levels for Half-Life back in the late 90s and early 2000s, and creating levels that people could run around in. And then I took about like a 15-year break from that, went to college, studied music, graduated, started bands, moved to New York, did the whole thing, played a bunch of shows, moved out to LA, started another band called Sextile, and got signed to a label and did tours through the United States and tours through Europe. and two tours to Europe, and then that took a hiatus, and now I do Panther Modern, which is my personal project, which is both visual and musical elements that I create. Kind of, it's an experiment messing with the social media algorithms that we have to deal with, and kind of, I was trying to create avatars in order to trick the algorithms into thinking they were real people, and seeing how much engagement and how much, feedback I could get with not using myself as the focus, and trying to take the ego out of it. And because I didn't want to take all these, selfies like, hey guys, I'm just like making my salad today. Like, I'm a musician, but I'm making my salad and check it out. And I see marketing people suggest that shit on Discord, which is feels like they're very, very removed from what it's like, or I don't know, the what I thought was cool about being an artist, or the mystery surrounding art and the artist. I've always enjoyed that about the artists that I appreciate. I feel like there's a sense of mystery behind them.
Okay.
So I try to push that narrative with Panther Modern, as well as kind of exploring new technologies and seeing where we can push the music industry into actually appreciating and evaluating music that is in a way that is sustainable to create a living out of playing and making art and music, and not just giving it for free and putting it up on Instagram. So lots of lots of experiments and pushing and kind of seeing where things are. And now I'm at a point where I am feeling like I'm ready to talk about it more openly with the community and my fans and everything. So I'm getting ready to start like this weekly kind of like live stream with people and fans on either my Discord or Twitch, probably both. Um, and so now I want to engage more with people and see if we can push this forward even more. Now that I feel like I've done the research and I kind of know what I'm talking about now. I would never say I know everything, because you can't
So
always learn, baby.
so that's of course amazing. Like this project that you're trying to create, like in this metaverse, I think so. But like, is it more that you are creating a platform or a tool? What is like this? What's more like this Panther model? It's like you say, I want to create like a community for the artist, mixing like new technologies, educating them with new opportunities that I think they, of course, they are also brought and unlocked by NFTs. So is this more like a platform? What is it?
It's not necessarily a platform, but what I um, have thought about is one of the new tools that our Zora had put out is a way to be a curator for NFTs with artists, and both curator and artist receive royalties within the contract. And it's kind of like this really cool agreement. And I haven't seen a contract like this before, but I have thought about maybe kind of doing it that way, using my experience and having, been within the crypto community for almost a year now. I feel like I could help people that I know here in Los Angeles get started, and, put like bring my taste to the NFT and crypto community, because I don't know. I think there could be more punk elements in crypto that I think are missing. I mean, sure, there's crypto punks, but I
That's
don't know
not
what's punk
punk.
about that.
That's not the
Yeah,
punk that
what?
you are referring to.
Yeah, exactly. What is punk about crypto punks? Is anything that gets sold at Christie's punk? I don't know. It didn't. I don't know. I'm not sure. Did Larva Labs? I don't know. I need to know more about Larva Labs before
Yeah,
I really comment on what I think about CryptoPunks.
yeah, definitely. So
But yeah.
you want to
Go
make
ahead. I'm
this
sorry.
community more punk. So like, what does it mean like for you, punk? Because your band Sextile is a punk band, I think, right? So
Yeah, for
what's your
sure.
message like with this punk that you want to bring inside this community of musicians? I think the most like, or they're not just musicians.
What I think the power of that kind of message and attitude is empowering to the individual while also empowering to a community. And what the message is that you can do it. You can do this yourself. You don't need this person. You don't need all these people. You don't need this middleman. You don't need to acknowledge this gatekeeper. You don't have to kiss his ass to get the show. You don't have to kiss her ass to get the show. It doesn't matter. This is this is about I wouldn't say beating the system, but creating our own system and doing it in a different way that empowers all of us here working and trying to create a community and culture, um, and awareness through art and uh,
Yeah,
trying to, I guess, give people a safe space, to create art here in Los Angeles. So
yeah,
lots of things, lots of vibes to push that forward. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And so, do you think that like is this the biggest disruption for the music industry? So the fact that there is not that middleman, is it for you the biggest revolution that has been brought to thanks to NFTs? Because of course there aren't. It's important to understand also that there aren't anyway like easy money, and it's not easy anyway because the
No.
middleman in some situations, of course, it needs to be helpful sometimes, but of course, like in the long term view, there is this possibility of being totally independent. So is it for you like the biggest disruption for the music industry, or there is something else that really excites you about NFTs and the music industry for your career, especially for what you think that is going
Um,
to happen in the next years to you?
I mean, I think it absolutely is a huge disruption in the music industry. Um, this morning I was reading about how people are saying, like, everybody's buying vinyl, vinyl's coming back, but really sales have ultimately dropped, and the floor of vinyl is dropping on Discogs. Um, People are just going digital. People can appreciate the digital, but what I really enjoy and think about the disruptive value of the NFT in the music industry is that we are actually giving what I feel is true value to the song. Like, we are giving, for the first time, an MP3 or WAV file or a song has provenance and a digital provenance. And for me, I don't think the music has ever been properly evaluated, and been given proper evaluation. I asked a Discord one time that I'm in with a bunch of music professionals, guys, like, where does the number that we pay for vinyl, $20 or $1.99 on Bandcamp, where did that evaluation come from? Where does it originate from? How did it start? And somebody's told me that it went all the way back to when Thomas Edison arbitrarily threw a number out so that people would come in and listen to the phonograph, and he just said a nickel, and it hasn't changed since. Nothing's changed. And so this might be the first time that we are actually able to give proper evaluation for it. And for me, when I make my NFT, and mint a song, I put it up for free on Bandcamp, because to me, all those MP3s that you're getting from Bandcamp, they're not verifiable. They're copies. So you are essentially, it's like getting a pamphlet. You're just taking a little pamphlet and thanks, yeah, all right, see you later.
Yeah,
You can't resell that. No way you can resell that. And nobody's going to be able to verify that you actually got it from Bandcamp later on, even if you send it to them. I mean,
yeah.
download it and send it to them through email. But so I use this awesome protocol called Catalog. It's a protocol and a platform built around the Zora protocol, and Catalog by this really awesome team led by this really awesome guy named Jeremy.
So it's
And
like, so sorry for interrupting. It's like, can you tell me before, because I know what Zora is, but maybe not everyone here is know what Zora is, and like you're saying that catalog is an extension of Zora.
correct. So Zora is a protocol, and it is an open source protocol that a group of I'm not sure, not a big group, a small group of individuals got together and wanted to democratize and decentralize the platform, um, uh, NFT platform, so that anybody could come in and create their own platform using the Zora protocol, which is very awesome. I think at first it was confused to be like a marketplace, and it's still used as a marketplace,
Yeah.
but it is more of a um, foundation. I mean, and that's a really bad word to use because there's a marketplace called a foundation, but it is literally they give you what they call the ZDK, and from there you can build your own platform using their protocol, and that's kind of what Catalog is.
All right. All
And
right.
Catalog is a strict music base. They You can stream your music on there. You can auction, bid. It's great. I really enjoy Catalog. So every song that I mint on Catalog, I put up for free on Bandcamp.
What's like a similarity in the non-NFT world with catalog that you can tell us to let us understand better what is so special about catalog? So it's like more like, I don't know, SoundCloud. So I don't know like how to connect it to.
Sure. It's kind of like SoundCloud. It feels more like Bandcamp,
Mhm.
um, but they have a much better layout than Bandcamp. I really like their UX. I can't really say it's hard because I haven't really seen anything like it. There's nothing that you can that has like auctioning. Like so here you have the cover art streaming the song, and then below it is just, where you can bid and the history of bids and the collectors.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it's super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really seen anything like it before.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's everything. Of course, it's new here. Like, so you're saying that basically this marketplace slash foundation, it's huge for the music industry, and so like, of course, your advice that you're giving for yourself and for maybe other musicians is to join this foundation slash marketplace. And are there any other platforms or projects specifically for the musicians and the music industry that you advise to other people here to join and to understand better?
Yeah, I would say take a look at Audius. Audius is another big project that's going on, and um, don't be turned off by their EDM. They're heavy, like when you go on Audius, it's heavy EDM. But what's
What
really
is
cool,
EDM? Can you explain for maybe others?
I mean, like to me, that it seems like electric dance music, which is a
Yeah,
super corporate type of music. I
yeah.
mean, that for me, that what it seems like. It just seems like basic bullshit. So I mean, to me, that's always been the case, and I've never connected with that type of music, um, and it doesn't feel genuine to me. Um, so when I saw Audius at first, I was turned off, to be quite honest. I didn't like it, and then as I kept listening and trying to find out trying to find more information on what the team is actually doing at Audius. What they're doing is creating a streaming protocol, a decentralized protocol. So you can actually build on top of Audius in the same way that you can build on top of Zora and create your own and like pull from Audius's um, just I think they have a certain IPFS, or I'm not sure where the songs are being uploaded to, but your platform that you build on top of Audius can pull from all of those songs. So I think that's super cool. So even if you're like, okay, obviously the purple and white and Audius's layout is maybe not your vibe, that's fine. You can build your own. I think it's really cool that the Audius team provided that uh, type of functionality around their protocol instead of just keeping it to themselves.
Yeah, that's super cool. So I think that the reason because at the beginning you say there was so much EDM and not others music is just because like EDM it's the genre that has got more the biggest audience worldwide, and of course we've seen
Right.
a lot of artists like Steve Aoki that joined earlier this
Right.
crypto space with their NFTs. It's cool, the NFT of Steve Aoki too. But like, yeah, of course, if you go like to Tomorrowland or to huge other events worldwide, you will see mainly like EDM. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
of course if you want to, especially in this period because we didn't have live events, so you need to give something to your community, and that's of course,
Absolutely. And like I completely understand that.
yeah, yeah,
Like I mean, EDM has a huge audience, no doubt.
yeah,
And I completely understand the marketing towards that and why it gets that. Like
yeah,
punk is probably a niche community still.
yeah. So I would love to hear more about from you about how can you add some kind of utility to the NFTs that we see in the crypto space now, because utility is something that more and more I understand NFTs, and maybe at the beginning I was thinking that scarcity was the value, but scarcity is not just the value, utility itself. I see more NFTs for not at the beginning I was seeing NFTs as an asset, as an investment, and of course
Mm-hmm.
they are, but I am more excited now about to see NFTs as a tool to engage with community. For example, I always make the example that the NFT that I bought of Gary Vee, that is adding several layers of value and access to him and to his life. But that's not like, at least for the moment, like in the music industry. That's another word. In the music industry, what's the kind of value that we think we can build up on the NFTs in the moment that we create and sell NFTs to your audience and your community?
Yeah, there's a lot of cases for how musicians can use NFTs and how they can create utility besides just, being a nice, cool, shiny object that you have in the digital wall of yours. I feel like you were talking about they can give you access to certain things to, let's say, an Ask Me Anything, where it's a personal Ask Me Anything session, or it's tickets into the next show, or a VIP viewing, or maybe it's a record listening party to only these NFT holders. So there's a lot of utility to bring to it. And I guess what I'm really excited about is having it, like being able to just use your phone and walk in because I have that NFT, go in, tap the thing, it verifies that I have it, and then I'm in. There's maybe, I mean, will we see Ticketmaster move to NFTs? Will we see Ticketmaster, be completely cut out because they are the middleman between the artist and the venue? And if we're using NFTs as verification of payment, then what what will those ticketing companies really be needed for? Um, I think it could also be used to create really interesting experiences. Imagine like location-based NFTs, where if you're in a certain location, maybe you can unlock airdrop, or maybe you unlock a AR experience,
Oh,
and just any kind of there's it's really endless, man. It's
I
really, I mean,
I like this perspective of like NFTs that evolve over time. So they change basically. Like if you buy a
right,
stock, that stock doesn't change. Just change, of course, in value because it goes up and down. But
right.
an NFT is something more liquid. So for
Hmm.
example, you say it's location, it can be location based, and you can.
Hmm.
It's also like what Gary Vaynerchuk is doing with NFTs is like upgrading these NFTs. He's building this gamification that you've got something that you just bought and it's changing over time. It's like buying a
Yeah,
clothes that change over time, that maybe become like a clothes for the winter, for the summer. That's amazing
yeah.
because we don't want to throw away what we buy anymore. Like for me, especially like for me, I'm more like I live more in a minimalistic way. Like I don't have so many
Sure.
stuff in my closets or in my room. So I
Yeah.
like this fact that if I buy something that's going to create, it's going to change itself also based on my tastes, based it on something else outside. For example, one of the amazing projects that I saw, not in the music but in the art industry, that it's async art. So this kind, I don't know if you know it, like
Oh, I
it's
love async art.
oh, that's so yeah. You know what we're talking about? That this kind of art that is evolving over time based on the weather,
Yep.
based on the financial
Yeah.
markets, based on
Yeah.
different. I don't know if you have seen something similar in the music space, or if there isn't already something. How would you made
Hmm.
it?
I think there are a couple projects. The names of the projects I can't really think off the top of my head, but people to watch artists that I know that are working heavily with async is Rare Skrilla and Connie Digital, and those two,
Uh,
and Dow Records, I believe, is doing stuff in async. But don't quote me on that one. Uh, Either way, the what I see both of them experimenting with is people being able to almost remix their songs by using the stems or different layers, or maybe the layers of the song change over time, like you were talking about earlier, piece. Maybe, in the winter, the key goes from major to minor, something like that, in which we feel more of a darkness through the winter. Or maybe it's vice versa, so we can keep that attitude up, even though it's cold outside.
yeah.
I don't do well with winter. That's why I live in LA. Uh, but I mean, like there's definitely so many possibilities. Again,
Yeah.
with being able to code in changes into art and with NFTs. I like the idea of people collecting, maybe short 16 bar stems, and then like combining them together and jamming them out. And like, oh, I'm gonna take this beat from that, or this kick drum from that artist, or this guitar, or that synth line, or this bass line, and this vocal sample, all from different artists, and then try to combine something new out of them. I think that could be really interesting. I mean, and then at some point it's going to be like, instead of, the DJ that you're going to want to bring to your party is going to be the one with the rarest samples and the rarest NFTs. And it's not going to be the one with the vinyl. It's going to be who's got the NFT. And it's going to be in the metaverse. No doubt about it. Like you will see a board probably above the DJ, like behind the DJ with whatever NFT he's playing right behind you, and like you're like, yeah, and that's gonna be the cloud. You're gonna be like, That's right. I own that one. I was here early.
That's
I don't
fucking
know.
huge. Absolutely. Like you are making me envision in this interconnection in which everything is based on intellectual property, but you can reuse and reuse all
Yeah,
different arts. Everything is more accessible. You need less permissions because if
right,
now I know who owns that piece, I can reuse it, I can mix it, and that's another
right.
level of creativity. That's another level of artistic, another level of connection without need to call you, find and say, hey, can I use your piece
Yeah,
for my song, for my concert?
yeah,
No, it will be way more faster than this.
yes,
I hope.
because you already coded it in. Like
Yeah,
I've already every like if I did that with a sample, I'd be like, all right, I want 2%, 5% of every, sale that you have that you use my sample in. Imagine that.
yeah.
It would be so easy. Again,
It will be
trustless.
so easy, so easy. That's of course the new level of access. That is easy, easy, easy. Of course, and more it's easy and more is funny, interesting, and it opens a lot of possibilities. And about possibilities, like going for a second in the macro, like what about companies, music labels? Because at the beginning you say that you are working also with a company. What's your perspective and your advice for huge big brands and also for music labels, so talking about companies in the music industry, to join this metaverse, because they won't have anymore the role that they had until now, and they've got maybe two possibilities: or die or join this metaverse in a way. So what's your advice for them?
First, call my company. I'll help you guys get in.
Call Panther Modern.
Yeah, I have a new company called Heat that I just started here in Los Angeles, which is a digital asset studio
What's the
and
name?
a NF Heat.
Hit.
You
Okay.
can
I'm going
look it
to
up at
link in the
heat
description
dot
with
oh
all.
oh oh oh.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to link it
Yeah,
later.
heat dot triple O is the website. It's our landing page for now.
Okay.
It's very brand new, but we are opening a warehouse downtown in
Great.
Los
And
Angeles.
what are you going to do with companies?
So with the companies, we are going to create digital assets for brands, musicians, and stuff. Basically, helping them get into the metaverse, creating avatars for their artists, creating any kind of digital items that they feel representative of the music that they're creating. One of their first projects is going to be helping dancers mint or capture, create, and mint their NFTs. So at the warehouse, we'll be using motion capture suits and helping dancers, like I said, capture that and then taking them through the process of creating the NFTs. And we are creating a marketplace in which dance NFTs can be displayed and shown and bought and then eventually used within the metaverse. So in crypto voxels, in Somnium Space, in Decentraland, imagine like you had the latest Panther Modern dance and your avatar could do it whenever you want. And just because I put out a record, maybe I gave one to everybody who bought it. So and then you see people
Wow.
dancing in the metaverse like this, and like, where'd you get that dance? And they're like, oh, it came from the latest Panther Modern record. And
Wow.
so that's like I think it's going to be really cool. And dancers have never had a market like this before. So this is going to be, I feel like, the first time we've ever
And
seen
dance is a
the
huge
empowering
market.
of what
Dance is a huge market.
huge,
Think about all
huge.
the videos that we see online. Like the
Exactly.
two main video is like dancing and food. Like so dancing
And cats.
and cats. Of course, cats.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah.
Fuck cats.
But it's,
I've got a cat too.
it,
No, no, no. I love cats. But like, of course,
I
that's
love
not the
cats. I
kind
mean,
of
I'm Panther
contents
Modern.
that I want to see every day on my Instagram.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I watch cat videos every day. I crack up. I love it. It's true. But yeah, so I'm just very excited to bring Providence to dance for the first time. Imagine, I mean, I don't think Epic or Apple or any of the, you know, huge gatekeepers of digital content will allow for these kind of dances to be used in games like Fortnite or any, you know, big big games. I don't think we're going to be able to see that anytime soon. They'll probably gatekeep it, but
Yeah.
I would love to eventually see that. I think it would be so cool. I mean, like for example, imagine if Cardi B put out a new record and you could do her dance in Fortnite, or you know, your favorite sports athlete was you were able to use their certain dance, their actual dance, and collect it, and then you could use it in like the Madden or FIFA or whatever video game you enjoy. I mean, like all of that is possible, and that's where I think we're gonna head. And it's going to be a really, really new experience. And so that's what my new company is going to focus on. And um, besides that, there are two other functions to the space. It is a immersive gallery space in which we can have shows and display NFTs and kind of really create an experience uh, out of it, instead of, you know, not just, you know, a bunch of TVs on the wall flashing NFTs. We want it to be an all-encompassing, immersive experience, with projection mapping and projectors and building out this, you know, the set and turning it into a different place. Like that, so far I've been talking to a couple people who are excited to do their first gallery at this space, in which we are going to make it. We're going to turn the space into something else. It won't look like a gallery. And then B, we are also, Heat is eventually going to have its own social token and DAO. And what we are going to do with that DAO is create an artist residency program in which, when you collect these Heat tokens, you will be able to use that to vote on which artist gets the residency grant after the applications have already come in. So it's kind of like, who does the community want to see come in and make this new dance NFT? And then the people who are invested and own and have been collecting Heat tokens will be able to use those tokens as governance to who gets those uh, artist residencies. So I think it's just a huge experimentation, with a lot going on in it.
It is, man, and you are hypnotizing me now because I can see you are dancing in my podcast, like you are moving here, and you are talking about dancing and the future of branding and music, and that's awesome. And I believe in everything that you are saying, and I think it's something that we will see, of course, in these next 10 years. Because I can believe that for some people it can seem so futuristic, but that's exactly the power that is unlocked by NFTs. And it's just the beginning. It's so early.
Oh my gosh, I
So
couldn't agree with you more.
yeah, that's like the top of the iceberg of what we can do in this new blockchain era and in the metaverse.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely. I'm sure there's things we haven't even thought about yet, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, this is why I'm going to come to you also in September. I'm telling you now live on this podcast. I'm going to see in Los Angeles what we are going to create because I'm very curious to see what are you doing, man. There, that's so
Yeah.
early in this process, but yeah. And have you
I
got?
look forward to it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And have you got some NFTs that you are going to create for your brand or for yourself in this near period, or are you just more focused in creating this sort of onboarding process for others? Because that seems like the work of, yeah, like you, of me, maybe, that we are joining this NFT space so early. Like we are going to
Yeah.
become like the enablers for others, the home borders for
Right.
others. So
Right.
are you going to create something like that we are going to see from your heart? Because you're doing so many projects. So there are a lot of ways to mix these to create NFTs in the long term, in the medium term, small term for your community, or you're just going to focus on the educating and onboarding process?
Um, I think they are going to work simultaneously together in terms of creating my NFTs and then educating the community. I think I like to talk to them about it. I think I'd like to educate them more on this. Well, let me back this up by saying that, like, recently I've been doing a lot of 3D, and I've been really into the idea of generative art and have been for a while. So I've been experimenting with new generative art designs, and actually the program that is running this right now is the program that I use to generate art using math and different variables. And it's I want I feel because this program is also free, I think it'd be really cool to kind of educate the community on the program, the possibilities of generative art, and how to mint NFTs at the same time. And kind of like be like, look, you don't need to be this, insanely skilled 3D artist. You can still do really crazy stuff. You don't even have to be good with a paintbrush or colors. If as long as you're willing to get into something and mess around, that's all that matters. If you're into the idea of exploring ways of
Yeah,
uh, if yeah of creating visual art and conveying your emotions through visual art, you're you're set. It doesn't matter. And I want to empower people like that because I think there is a big barrier. I think there can be a barrier to art. And I think there's a barrier,
yeah,
and that really comes in the confidence of oneself. You're like, ah, like for me, I'm a terrible drawer. I'm a terrible painter. I can't fucking do any of it. But somehow I could do this, and I can do 3D and create realistic environments and make people think that certain 3D things look real, are photorealistic, and that's really cool.
that's
I
true.
couldn't, yeah.
Man, you touched the point. You are talking about art, and it seems like that you are talking about art as a therapy for people, because I think that will be the age of artists. So
Yeah.
how are you going to educate people about art? But my question is not this, is like, what's art for you, and how are you going to
Mm.
explain art to people?
Well, I mean, I will first tell them that it is absolutely subjective. It is what you want it to be. Art is only what you make it, you know. Art is what you find valuable that maybe is not defined by any or governed by anything at all, but what the original creator's intent was. I think when I try to explain it, I mean, like I don't really necessarily want to teach people what art is. I feel like that's something for them to find out for themselves. But I want to teach or give rather or open up um, the ideas and open up people to the ideas that there are many other ways to generate art and to create visuals that they might find might be artful to them. It's so hard to, I mean, there's no way to define art. It is absolutely subjective. you know there's no way.
Also, I agree
I
with
mean,
you.
this
Everything is
keyboard is
art.
work.
Everything is
Yeah, I
art.
mean,
Like everything can be an NFT in this world.
no, it's really true. It's really true. It really could all be an NFT. I mean, this video, this podcast,
Of
NFT,
course.
get,
Any
you know,
advice? Any advice to mint this podcast as an NFT in the near future? Because of course
um,
I'm going to do it. But like, because like
oh,
podcast it's audio, no? So it's not quite music, but it's similar in some sense to music more than other
I
industries.
mean,
So
it's still very cool to be able to even mint a podcast. I think it's very interesting. I would probably, I would just do one of ones and
yeah.
choose a platform or protocol. I mean, maybe make your own platform,
Hmm.
where you can get all of your podcasts and build that community around your podcast.
Because there isn't, I was looking for it, but there isn't a platform for podcasts. So I need to create one, or we need to create one.
Or I was thinking,
A
yeah,
platform for
that, or you
podcast,
just
of
have,
course, I say in the NFT space.
of course. But I think that if you made just your own platform for your own podcast, you don't have to do it for other people's. You could just make it for your own and build it on top of the Zora protocol. So use the Zora protocol, and then basically all you need to do is create the face of it and of the website, and then use the mechanics of Zora's marketplace, and then you can start selling your podcast as NFTs without having to, use Rarible or Foundation or any of those other spots. Even though, I mean, it might be beneficial to use those because there are collectors already on those
That's
platforms or
interesting, man.
marketplaces.
That's so interesting. And
You
like,
know,
how are you going tech? What are the technical challenges in the sense that because I don't have like coding experience. Of course, do you need coding experience, or do you need, or do you? So what the type of skills and experience that you need to create something upon Zora?
I think it's minimal. I'm not, honestly, I don't know I haven't dove into that yet. I just know that it is possible. I'm not sure about the level of experience that you
Okay,
need.
but you need a coding experience anyway, like a backend experience.
I would say a minor. I mean, but again, I don't know the full extent of what kind of skill is needed.
Okay.
But I'm going to assume you're need a minor skill set in it, but nothing that you couldn't, watch a couple YouTube
Of
videos about, I
course, of
assume.
course, of course.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can learn it. For this podcast, I can do everything, of course.
University of YouTube, baby.
Absolutely, man. That's the best university. The best university. You can learn
All
everything
right,
there in a few hours. Okay, man. I'm going
it's
to.
true.
I want just one your last thought, and then I can leave you in the metaverse because it seems very nice there. What?
It's pretty cool. You can change colors.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Thank you for creating this visual, this environment, and
Yeah, of course.
about decentralization, man. Everything that is decentralized. What's your thoughts
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
about decentralization and everything that is decentralized in this world, and that
Mm-hmm.
is going to be more and more decentralized? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's absolutely necessary. The other day, I tried to post a clip from a movie that is like I love that I love, and then Instagram blocked it because it was used in a song that somebody had sampled, and because it was a song that somebody had sampled, I couldn't use the clip from the movie. It didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, wait, like I don't know. It didn't make any sense at all, why I couldn't use the sample.
Yeah,
And so therefore, because it's a centralized platform, they removed my content, and that
yeah,
was that. And I was
yeah,
like, wow, we
yeah,
really
yeah.
need to move to decentralization. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yes. So
Um,
you really like as Instagram, you really put a wall between me and my artistic process because I used that sample to create something like so many artists. I saw like Kanye
right.
West and a lot of other artists in the music space that they are using samples, but of course they need some permissions. But in this way, you say that just for posting, just for that moment, just to give to my community something for that moment, I couldn't do it, and that's something that you didn't like it, of course. And about
Yeah.
Instagram, you made me think that I read yesterday that Instagram is building his NFT platform, but I think
Yes.
that they are going to need to change their rules, and it's a little bit funny to see like how Instagram that is not decentralized, it's going to create an NFT platform that for their its nature should be decentralized. So I don't know what are they going to come up to, but we're going
I
to
have
see.
no clue either, but it seems like it's just doesn't seem like it's good for anybody.
Yeah, yeah, it's
But maybe, I mean, here's the other thing. It's like the other side of the coin is that it's going to help onboard a lot of people onto NFTs.
yeah,
And I think Venmo just said that they are you can use crypto with Venmo now. So we are going to see a lot of adoption this year
yeah.
on the social platforms, which makes me so curious why everything is going down right now. I don't understand. Maybe we were truly in a bubble, but
It's up and
I'm
down, yeah.
still very bullish ETH. Is it still going down?
Yeah, it's still going.
I have not
I
looked.
check it this morning, but yeah, it's still going down for the money. Yeah, for the main. Yeah, but I don't know. It's just a moment. Like it always up and it always up and down. I don't really watch at them in the
Yeah,
short term. I really just thinking, okay, what's the
yeah,
real value between and sorry behind all these platforms, and what which one of them is really delivering a good project, a good community, is delivering what is promising, which one cannot die from a day to another. That's like also a point of
right.
view. And when the answer,
And for me, that
yeah, no, 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 please go.
go ahead. I was gonna say, and for me, that's Ethereum.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Were
bullish on
you?
Ethereum.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, okay, man, thank you for coming in this metaverse, and also for giving
yeah,
huge advices about not just the music industry but also how to transform this podcast into an NFT. And we are definitely going to see
yeah,
something like that. And
yeah. I think one of the most important things coming into the NFT space is engaging with the community, like you
yeah,
are. You know, it's it's like walking into any scene,
yeah,
any music scene, art scene, whatever. You
yeah.
gotta get with people.
I read the other day, building communities in 2021 it's like building cities in 1900.
Interesting.
That's true now.
You should forward that to me. I would love to read that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can find it on my my Twitter. I retweeted it. I'm going to link it down here, like all the other stuff that we talk about. Okay, Brady, it was a
Cool.
pleasure, and see you soon in the metaverse again.
Yo, it was really great. Thank you so much for having me. Great talking with you, and you have a beautiful rest of your day.